it's Jake here. This is a demo of Canister Cloud, a Dfinity grant project. It's built on top of the DocuTrack app. It's live on the ICP mainnet, and as you can see, we've set up a custom domain at canister.co. The MVP is targeted at HR teams for streamlining the collection, storage and sharing of employee onboarding documents. We use internet identity for authentication, which means secure passwordless login. I'll sign in using my internet identity now. I'll upload a couple of files. When you upload files, the files are encrypted using the user's principal ID as the encryption key. And when you view the file, it's decrypted using the principal ID. So we've added some standard features to make it usable, such as renaming of files, download, sharing, and deleting of files. Let's set up a request. So we can request files from anybody within or outside of our canister. So we've implemented request templates, which can be used for streamlining workflows. So we'll give the request a name, onboarding, let's say CV and ID. We'll save this as a template and generate the link. And here we have the link. So if we open up an incognito window, you can see how it looks for the user that's not logged in. Let's upload these files. CV. And ID. If we go back to the logged in app, let's close this window, go to my files, and here we have it, the CV and the ID. We could then share this CV with a colleague who is set up on our canister. And now Emma has access to the CV. That's about it for the moment. Thanks for listening.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and today I'll be going through the code and architecture behind Canister Cloud. So let's begin. Most of this is already pre-existing Canister IC DocuTrack code, of course, now with the grant program, we've did quite a few modifications, namely the vedkd additions to the code. We have two files here, two main methods, the encrypted key and the public key. Public key does a very simple thing, just fetches calls the vedkd API and gets the public key. Here's the method for it, unwrap, and sends it back with the OK. The encrypted key method is a bit more interesting. It has two arguments. We pass it the public key and the file ID, which we get from the front end. We have the derivation ID, which is kind of there's a couple of things here. It's either can be the derivation ID can be the principal of the caller, so basically the key of the user, or the other case, if the key is, for instance, if the file is going to be shared and you need to encrypt it for yourself and for the person you're sharing the file with, there's also logic for that. Yeah, I believe this is the first case for that, and this is just if you want for yourself. So yeah, we pass the derivation ID, which is this whole function here, public key, result, and send it back. Okay, so for the front end, we have two interesting things. We have the upload file, which is a lot of stuff. Ignore the errors here. I'm showing you this on my backup laptop. Upload and decrypt, which should be called honestly download, but we can rename it. So they both import this vedkd crypto service, which is this file, which basically just has two main functions: encrypt and decrypt. And it utilizes the IC-vedkd utils package, which at the moment I don't think is properly released. We had to compile it from a tar.gz file, which I could do a guide on. Yeah, I should do a guide, a blog post on vedkds. But anyway, encrypt, we get the data, the user principal bytes, which is just basically you pass the file to this method, get the public key, generate a random seed, encode the message, and encrypt it using the vedkd utils package I mentioned before, serialize it for transport, and off it goes. And then the decrypt method, we get the encrypted data, and what we do with the encrypted data, we decrypt it, which is a bit more steps involved in encryption. We check if the files are shared, we get the secret key, we get the public key, check if it's shared, perform some logic if it is shared. If it's not, we don't do that. Get the private key from the backend. So this is specific logic related to vedkeys because we are transporting the encrypted key from the canister to the front end, and in the process we need to transport it securely as well, which is where the transport secret key, also from the vedkd package, comes in very handily. We encrypt the key on the canister side and then transport it and decrypt it on the front end side. Also quite a lot of complicated stuff goes onto here. The ciphertext, I believe this is just the file. We decrypt it, serialize it, and decrypt it. That's it. So yeah, I am simplifying here quite a lot, but there's a lot of things that go on here. This is the upload logic. We have a bunch of stuff here. Chunk it, so basically split the file into small chunks, generate the file ID with the backend method, and off it goes. And then we upload the chunks. So decrypt, which should be called download, basically do the reverse of that. We download the file with the backend method, get the chunks, merge the chunks, and then decrypt it. Yeah, decrypt the file, get the user principal, decrypt the data. Yeah, here we go. The crypto service I mentioned before, pass all the arguments, and then return this big object of all the useful information back to the front end. So this is the overview of our code and architecture. We have the backend, which is responsible for getting the actual private key and the public key. We have the front end service, which does encryption and decryption. And we have the user-facing services, the client-side services that work with the decrypt and encrypt method for either uploading the files or downloading files, as well as other things like sharing and deleting files and renaming files, and etc., etc. So there's a lot of stuff that goes onto this, and I cannot cover it all in 2 to 3 minutes, unfortunately, which is why we'll be coming with a full-length blog post and other more technical information regarding our more detailed side of the architecture. But this has been a brief overview of the code and architecture for Canister Cloud. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.